What's going on, everyone? Ed over at the Stojo Zone, and I have the most amazing podcast set up for you guys this week. I am joined by three of my friends that I consider brothers of mine, and we are going to be talking about stuff that we've done in our bands, on the road, stories, gigging together when we were in separate bands, and maybe a formation of Beyond Damaged, maybe? I don't know, possibly, who knows? But anyway,
what?
Exactly. We've got episode 8 of the Stojo Zone, Beyond Damaged. So here we go, episode 8 of the Stojo Zone. We are calling this Beyond Damaged, and let me preface why we call it Beyond Damaged, because I was in a band called Nerve Damage back in the day, and the three lovely gentlemen, good-looking, strapping young lads that I'm with right now.
You're too kind.
Whoa. I'm hitting on you guys. I just want you guys to know that. So
you do give the best reach around.
I most certainly do, but I actually patented the Grim Reacher, so so I got that. But I am with Derek, Jaime, and Jeremy, and they were in a badass band called Beyond Words back in the day that we used to gig with. They were literally our brothers from another mother. We love playing with them, and let's get the intro. So who wants to go first, gentlemen?
D.
Oh, put me on the spot right away. First, let me just get this out of the way. I have a little bit of a sinus thing going on right now, so my voice is tuned down half a step.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
We've got very perfect.
I finally hit puberty. Yep. I'm Derek. I'm a Hoosier. Grew up in Indiana.
Region rat.
Yeah, region rat. Absolutely. And I do live audio for a living, audio installations. And
you blow people's mind because when you do audio, you have an iPad, and I don't know how that's possible.
I use the Force. Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't know how that's possible. I think it's if Einstein was alive, I firmly believe he'd have a hard time figuring out how you're doing it.
Sure. Yeah. And Tesla as well.
Tesla, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So who do we got to your? What? Let me use the correct term. Stage right. Oh wait, am I right? No. Stage left.
Stage left.
It's
been that long, Ed.
Here we go.
To my left is my brother in the rhythm section, Jaime.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Yeah, you know it's Jaime from the GI here. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Shit. Just coming off, doing some tracks in the studio. In the studio.
Make them say,
What?
They used to say John Cena invented thugonomics or something like that. I don't think he did. I think you did, Jaime.
Oh yeah, you goddamn right.
So, dude,
they call me Freight Train. It was like, hey, there goes old Freight Train going down the hall.
So, dude, tell me about yourself, bro. Let everybody know. Tell the people what they want to hear.
Oh man, I don't know if they want to hear this.
Hey, ready?
Yeah. Born in Gary, raised in Gary half my life. From Hammond now. I do a little work. With a certain utility. Life is good.
Life is grand.
Life is grand, yeah. I don't know what else. I enjoy music.
Yeah, what do you play?
I play everything.
What I was going to say, what don't you play?
Yeah, the kazoo. Yeah.
Got you beat there.
I can't afford one.
I've played the kazoo for the past 15 years. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, bassist, back in the day with Beyond Words, guitarist, hopefully maybe a little project coming up here pretty soon.
Nice.
Yes.
But yeah, man, enjoying life and times with you guys.
And he starts off as a hard ass, but at the end of the day, he becomes a teddy bear.
You just want him to hold you.
Yeah, he's so sensitive.
It's all love, man. L-O-V-E. L-O-V-E, love.
So
that's what it is. E-L-E. Everybody love everybody.
Last but not least, you think that Jaime was aggressive. We've got the most aggressive one in the place. There's a reason why he's got the name J-Bone. Let's hear it, dude.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I am a steel worker at the current moment. I sang in the band Beyond Words. That was the one and only band I was in. Grew up in Valparaiso, Indiana. Live in Portage, Indiana right now. And that's about
Potage. So when we used to gig out, this was back in Nerve Damage. So like, let me start off. So in Terminal Fix, I got in that band when I was real young. I want to say it was like 17. And
what year was that?
2002.
Ooh, wow, 17.
Yeah,
I was 22.
Yeah, 2000.
We were already out of high school.
Yeah. It was 2002. I jammed with them guys for a little bit. Then I ended up joining Nerve Damage, and I was with those guys. I think we kind of had, I want to say we had our last show. We took like a couple hiatuses, and we had our last show, I want to say it was in 2011. So from 2005 to 2011, I was in Nerve Damage, and that's when I found out who Beyond Words was.
Hello.
There we go. You see that? You like that? So it was awesome because we got a chance to play, and I got a chance to see your guys' live performance. I got a chance to see a lot of the stuff that you guys did, and quite frankly, for my own selfish purposes, I really didn't want to gig with anybody else. Like I was like, okay, cool, yeah. There was a few other bands that I really, really liked, but if we were going to do a 3 or 4 band night, you guys had to be one of them. That was like one of, because I really feel like 2 things. One, our crowds were similar as far as crossover music. Like, right. I feel like whatever crowds that you guys brought would like us, and whatever crowds that we brought would like you guys.
We had crowds?
Only when we played shows with them.
Yeah. Like, damn, we have a lot of fans here, and it's like, wait a minute, all our fans are wearing Nerve Damage shirts.
And then, but I really did, and then not to mention, I mean, like, I liked you guys a lot. You know, it was just one of those things where I'm just like, man, these guys are cool. We actually had. So I had the same feeling about you guys back when it was a similar feeling when I was in Terminal Fix, when we used to play with these guys from Illinois. They were called NDX, and they were like our brothers, and they were awesome. And then another band we used to play with was Blown, and they
really,
that was they were awesome though. They almost had like a Mudvayne vibe to them, which was really cool. Oh, yeah. Because that's when Mudvayne was like it exactly, dude. And they were really cool, and it was like the Chicago Metal Showcase.
I remember that.
Yeah, and like we would play, and that's kind of like how we would brand it every time we would play somewhere. So, but tell me, how did Beyond Words, like, how did it happen? Well, like, what did you guys?
J-Bone?
Yeah, let's revert this to Jay. Get a little closer to the mic.
So, I don't know. That was a long time ago. That was like, what, 2004 or 5?
Now he remembers. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was at Ball State, and I had a guitar, and I remember another founder, Dan, he was getting mad because I didn't know how to play it. And so he just kind of taught himself. And then we started playing acoustic shows when I would come home for summer. So
you had the guitar, and he didn't, at that time, he didn't know how to play.
No, he would get mad because he'd be like, hey, can you play that? And I'll be like, no. And he's like, and he'd be like, why not? And I'm like, because I haven't been practicing.
And he's like, give me that thing.
Yeah. So then
show you how it's done.
Yeah. He just started playing it. And then, we played acoustic shows. I think he went to the Purdue and Hammond.
Yeah, Northwest or
Cal.
It was
Cal back then. Yeah.
So like we played a show there, and then I'd go back, fuck off back to Ball State. And then he met a guy named Tony who played the drums.
Tony.
And they started talking, and then my mom's cancer came back. So I left Ball State to come home. And then, I just kind of formed from there. And then Tony ended up, so there was this other guy called Fat Dan. And he was supposed to be our bass player, but I don't think anyone told him that because I think he thought he was going to be the singer. And then I think Doug came around. He was a bass player. Anyway, so then what happened, he went to the Coast Guard, and then Jaime came in for bass.
Is that the guy that left his amp at Dan's house for like
yes
5 years or something?
Yes.
Yeah, he's actually in a pretty good band right now called Crashing Atlas.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're out of
female local.
They're out of Baltimore, right?
Lead vocal.
Oh, Dan was female?
No. The new band that he's talking.
Doug's in. Yeah, the bass player.
Oh, Doug. Oh, okay.
The original bass player is in a new band currently.
In a new band called
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in a new band called Crashing Atlas.
I didn't know. Hey, the society we're in, you never want to assume,
Right.
My goodness. So,
but so he left, and then Tony knew Jaime and brought him in to quote unquote try out.
dude, have you ever? I hate to cut you off, but have you ever really tried out for anything?
have I tried out for? You know what? Back in the day, and I bullshit you not, I was lucky enough to start going to NAMM shows.
Yep.
Because I knew someone who had a daughter who was in the industry, and that's how I got lucky enough to get a little tickets,
Yeah.
They had, back in the day...
What'd you have to do for those tickets?
Yeah, well... Is my wife listening?
Yeah, exactly.
Potentially.
Beep. Okay, you're good.
Back in the day, there was a tryout in L.A. for Michelle Branch. You remember Michelle Branch?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Wow.
This is the first. I never heard about this.
Yeah, well, because there's not much really to say about it because I crashed that motherfucker. Like it was terrible, man.
Oh, you can't play everywhere? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's one of these things where it was like nervousness. And at that time, I want to say I was like 24. And so I had only been playing bass for like maybe 6 years.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew some stuff, But, to get in a room with other people and then there's like older people there and, actually like industry people that, So it was one of those, I'm going to do it and see what happens.
Yep.
And it was pretty funny. Needless to say, I never even got a fucking, not even a call. I didn't even get a look.
I mean, he did try out for us, but it was I was laughing because it was just like, I don't know why the fuck he tried out for us. Cause like when he left, I was like, oh, this guy is a musician. Like we're just
He actually knows what he's doing.
He knows the notes.
like, it was just like, he left and he's like, all right, now this is where you talk shit about me. I remember that. And he left and I was just like, I don't really think.
That's what you said. You're like, all right, this is the part you guys talk shit.
I don't really think this discussion
Did I
needs to
say
happen.
that?
Yeah.
Did I really? That's funny.
I was just like, I mean, I don't know how we got to trick him to wanting to be in this band, but let's get it.
Yeah, and it was funny because it was at the time. I mean, I like all kinds of music, but at the time I was like, okay, this is hard rock. I can get into this, but I was really, and kind of still am, like more into singer songwriter acoustic.
Totally. Yep.
And that was kind of my thing. And I was like, oh, this is something new. So I was like, yeah, let's fucking do this.
That's cool.
And it was a good ride.
Well, the reason I say is like, did you try out with anything? Because like even though we've never been in a band together,
Well,
we've shared the stage.
We have
shared the stage together,
That's right.
And I will say, being, I wouldn't say a music connoisseur, but being an individual who knows music and can vibe with people, and stuff like that, dude, top notch, one of the best bass players I've ever jammed with.
Oh,
like easily,
I agree.
I appreciate it.
Like easily, like, and it's like everything, like it's just, it hits, and I'm just like, And then Derek, you're like the human metronome, dude. Like I just,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
His
so-
time is impeccable.
yeah, it's great. So I'm just like,
I'm never late.
yeah.
I'm always on time.
But it's like one of those things. I'm like, man, I could really mess this shit up and still sound great. Like, you know, this is awesome.
yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever. You know, but okay, so we're at Jaime tried out. He's in the band.
Right, and then that went on for a while. That went on for a while, and then I think we played House of Blues, opened up for Seether.
And Red. And Red.
Yeah.
Dude, Red.
They're awesome.
I've never heard of Red until last night. They opened up at Alter Bridge.
Really?
Oh, no shit.
Red, yeah, bald singer.
Yeah.
And then the guitar player and bass player both look
Twins.
like they can beat the shit out of
They're
anybody.
twins,
Oh,
yeah.
are they twins?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're twins.
I could see that for
Yeah.
sure. They look like they are linebackers for the Chicago Bears. Like, I don't know if they look the same now, but we both looked at each other and I'm just like, I'm clapping regardless if they look. You know what I'm saying? So Seether, Red.
Yeah, and then what was that guy's name? We played at was it the fair?
Indiana
State Fair?
Indiana State Fair?
No, where we won recording time.
Oh, John Huber.
Oh, yeah.
That was before you, right?
Yeah.
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 What was this? The Spot.
The Spot Studio, yep.
Yeah.
In Schneider,
We won
Indiana.
studio recording time, and we recorded at the Spot, and we had a drummer, and yeah, it was shady business how it went down, but couldn't keep up with the click track, and so Dan tried to bring some other dude in who also couldn't play with the click track.
What's a click track?
Put him on the spot, right?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
the pace of the song. The drummer has to stay on pace for the song, and he couldn't do it. So then Jaime said he knew Derek, and we again, quote unquote, tried Derek out. And we actually tried out some other guy from Dan's work. And then Derek, and we're like, yeah, Derek for sure. And then that's when Derek joined.
Yeah, so I remember that too, because so I talked to Derek, and Derek and I went to the same high school together.
Yeah. Which is
Morton High. Go
Morton
Govs.
Senior High School.
Go Govs. Go Govs. But anyway, so I knew him, and we crossed. We weren't close friends in high school, but we knew of each other.
Yeah.
And then even more after the fact, when we got older, just playing around the region.
and you guys were both musicians in high school too?
I did, but I was never in band.
Okay.
Yeah, I never did that. I played with my grandpa's regional Mexican band. So I was at 14 years old playing bass, in South Chicago.
Yeah, dude.
And playing on the stage, and when there's a break, I got to go in the back because I can't be in the bar area. You know, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, so I knew Derek, and I was like, man, this is a kick-ass fucking drummer, and he's doing all these things. Let me see if he's got time for this. So I still remember I was like, hey, you want to meet at the Copper Penny when that was still open?
Oh, yes, I remember that
in the
place.
HMD.
Well, where was the Copper Penny at?
In Hammond on Kennedy Avenue.
Was
It
that
was
right
a
off
little
the
hole in the
highway?
wall, just a little dive.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was there was a murder there years
Oh,
later.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
there was
that.
a cover up.
A murder.
That's
Yeah, I think
that's
the
on
owner's
another
since
podcast.
passed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that's on our next podcast, which is conspiracy theories of the region. Subscribe.
He hid the knife.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I remember I was like, hey man, meet me for some drinks, and let me talk to you about this whole project we got going on. And so we did, and had some drinks, and he came by our spot, which was Dan's garage.
That's right. His parents' garage. Yep.
His parents' garage.
We got yelled at for shaking the walls.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck it, man. Hey.
So then we started practicing it. But yeah, that's when Derek joined. But
Yeah.
started practicing at his house, but that's jumping ahead.
So then, like, what was your, I guess, your thought, right?
Okay.
Afterwards, yeah. This
And
where he comes.
so
from.
here-
when,
it
when
comes.
was this? Like, so what are we time frame? What are we talking about? What year?
This was the
I don't know.
Was it 08? Because
Yeah.
you asked me in 07. I remember that, and then maybe it was like a year later.
it was in 2008.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I remember you initially reached out to me, and I told you no. Because I
don't remember that.
I was in a couple different bands at the time, and I just didn't have the extra time to commit. And then I had posted on MySpace, actually, that one of the bands I was in was breaking up or whatever. And
your MySpace address was myspace.com/DerekS6969, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Derek Band's friends.
Whoa. So yeah, I made a post on MySpace that the band I was in was breaking up, and then I got a message from him probably within a couple hours after I posted, and all the message said was "aha."
That was the old school for all you younger ones out there. That was the equivalent of Facebook stalking. It was MySpace stalking.
Yeah, the OG
you're fucking
social
right.
media. Yes,
You got to jump on that, man. You got to jump on it.
And then it was at that time where Derek made Jaime's top 8.
Right.
These kids
I
don't know
did.
shit about
I was like, hey, man, if you join this band, I'll put you at number 1.
Dude, that was
Right.
clout. That was clout.
Yeah,
back in the day.
absolutely
If-
it was.
If
Yeah.
you were a top 8, and then you remember when they rolled out the top 16, and it's like, all right.
Yep.
And dude, you're like, oh god.
How many fucking
You get kicked out
fights?
and take it personal,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
How many fights did that cause amongst
Right.
friends?
You get a text message from a girl. How come you took me out of your top 8?
Who the fuck is this bitch?
Right.
The greatest. It's the greatest. So you know what cracks me about all, like just kind of what you guys are talking about is like, so then they were available, and then we ended up breaking up with this person. That like trying to recruit somebody to your band is very much like trying to get a girl to go out on a date.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It is no different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all like relationship. When we kicked the original drummer out, it was like breaking up with somebody. It was bad. So yeah,
It was. I mean, and I like going back to that just really quick. It was weird.
It was at Hooters, wasn't it?
It was at Hooters, but it's like a bit.
yeah,
You take a girl at Hooters to break up with her?
Well,
Like,
you got to do it at a public place, so in case they make a scene, you know,
No,
don't get punched.
I mean, unfortunately, it just wasn't. We weren't on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of sucked for me because I'm like, man, he brought me into this, and now I'm one of the guys that's like, okay, like,
Yeah, it
you know, and we had an opportunity to record for a small label, and we had to travel.
Yeah. Where would you guys go? Where'd you guys travel to?
Well, we didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
We didn't, and that was kind of the cause.
That's the theme of this band is a lot of this was supposed to happen, but
But it didn't.
Oh,
but
boy.
it didn't. Yeah.
So we weren't on the same page, and you know, unfortunately, unfortunately and fortunately, you
Yeah.
know, that's where we were.
So this was okay. So 2008 is kind of where the final members of Beyond Words was.
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Was 2008. That was the foundation.
right,
Of like the
correct.
final. In my opinion, the core members of Beyond Words.
that is correct.
That is correct.
So, yeah, he got in touch with me again, and he's like, this is what we have going on. Are you interested? So I met up with Jaime and Dan at not Hooters, but B-Dubs.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
hey,
that's right.
you're keeping it classy, dude. You were the classy one.
Yeah, I'm like, Hooters? Seriously, guys.
Yeah, guys, seriously.
I like their wings.
So, yeah, I met up with Jaime and Dan at Hooters, and with my white button-down shirt, which is a bad idea for chicken wings,
But
obviously.
if I'm not mistaken, you wore your shirt from the stories that I've heard, one more button unbuttoned than what you normally have.
Yeah, you got to show the hamburger.
Okay,
meat,
that's what I-
you know?
No, too sexy.
Yeah, I met up with them, and we just bullshit and kind of they wanted to see what I was about, and I wanted to see what they had going on, what they were about, and
Yep.
after that we set up a date for me to go and try out, and I think you dropped off a CD with some songs on it for me to learn.
Sounds about right.
And I'm going to be completely honest here. I didn't like it.
Dude, it's so funny.
And I didn't learn any of it until the day I was supposed to go over and try out. I made the CD player in my clapped out in 1995 Dodge Intrepid work on the way to this tryout, just so I could hear a couple of the songs.
Yeah.
And kind of memorize them and learn them on the way to Dan's house to try out. And I tried out, and it was kind of weird for me because at the time I was playing in a blues band.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So imagine going from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Oh, polar.
know?
Yeah.
In a blues band where I mean, seriously. Did you just snort?
I wish I had that on video tape. Dude,
I'm just like picture Derek listening to like we had a song called Clarity for the first time, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Hey, Derek, I'm making eye contact with you the entire time, and I'm looking to my right, and I just see shoulders bobbing like this, like, and I'm waiting for it to go on.
Sorry. He's like in a band with real musicians. He has to hear that song.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, so, going from a blues band to playing with these guys doing hard rock, and to be completely honest,
go ahead, say it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
Yeah, no, it was refreshing because I don't like playing blues music.
Then why were you in a blues band?
Right?
Money.
Oh,
Money.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was
Steady
a
stream.
band. I do like playing music, and it was a band, and
For sure.
when you're playing out, that's a good thing. So doing that initial tryout, playing with these guys, and it was like, man, now I could fucking let loose and beat the shit out of my drums and
write your own parts.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So that initial tryout was like, now I can breathe. Like this feels good.
Totally.
I can do this.
Yep.
So I started rehearsing with them regularly for, I don't know, maybe 2 months or something like that. And they're like, by the way, we have studio time. Are you ready to record some songs? And I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, let's do
No
it.
pressure, right? So we went back to the Spot studio and recorded, I don't think it was maybe, 6 songs or something?
I don't even think it was that much, was it?
3 or 4.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have much, and I can't remember how we won that. Was that a battle of the bands or something?
No, that's what I was saying. It was like at a wasn't it was something in Lake County.
You guys won studio time or something.
We won
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We won studio time. Yeah, it was a battle of the bands.
Where was one spot at again?
Schneider, Indiana. Just
The
south
spot.
of
It's on 41 in Schneider, Indiana, and it used to be a sod farm.
I was going to say, I didn't realize they had electricity down there.
Yeah, it used to be a sod farm, Huber Sod Farm, and the guy that owns it, John, the sod farm has since closed, but yeah, he runs audio production and
Still or no?
yeah, it's still open,
wow.
and he does video production now too.
Good.
Yeah, he's a full production studio over there.
Very cool.
So yeah, we recorded that and those songs over there, and then I think we got into January, and I at this point wasn't like officially brought into the band yet.
but you're like ready to record and everything.
We played a couple shows. I think we played a Double Door show, maybe even at Subterranean. I think we played.
Probably, yeah.
I'd played a couple 2-3 shows.
Couple 2 3 5s.
And did some studio work, and
So
I'm like,
he's just waiting. It's like, so am I in the band?
yeah,
or what?
so what's going on,
Yeah.
And so I reached out to them, and I'm like, look, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want my time wasted. Like, if it's going to be permanent, that's great. But if it's not, if this is temporary, just let me know.
Yep.
So I know what to expect,
So you can keep your options open.
Right.
And if this is temporary, then pay me, motherfucker.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Pay me for my
I'm not
time.
saying, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
no. But, yeah, they ended up bringing me on to be a permanent member of the band. And there you have it.
For me, it was just natural because once this motherfucker came in and he's got a fucking metronome and he's like, all right, what do we want to play this song as? And in my head, I'm like, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is my forever drummer.
Yeah.
So any project that I do, it's like, Derek, do you want to do it? Yes.
Well, and that's the thing is because you're that real breed of bass player where, like, you know, don't get me wrong, there's bass players out there that are fantastic, but they typically play along with guitar players, right? They just kind of, whatever the guitar part is, it's the same thing on bass.
And it's kind of, hard rock. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But you guys rock. You guys mesh. You guys do your own thing, and
he completes me. Yeah. Actually, I was just telling Joanne about this probably a few months ago. I'm like, Jaime gets me.
There you go.
Musically, he just understands. Like we get each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Oh, dude,
The rhythm section, man. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. You know how many people have said that rhythm section is just the fucking.
Yeah.
You need that rhythm section,
dude.
You got to click.
They're the backbone of everything, and in my opinion, and this is coming from a guitar player. So this is a recording. Let this be on the record. I firmly believe that a good bassist and a good drummer are a necessity first in a band.
Oh yeah.
Because then, as long as you have those two good, solid pieces, the foundation of the band, you can actually get a guitar player that is okay, and that band is going to sound great. You know,
right?
That's always been my opinion. I had when I was in Nerve Damage, Nate was good. You know, best drummer I ever jammed with. For like heavier metal,
right?
Was Dave from Terminal Fix Courier. He was like an Insane and all that other stuff. But Dave was like I'd be playing, and I'm just like, all right, pick hand, keep up. You know, I'm sitting there trying to play like, all right, keep up. And you got to think that I'm 17, 18 years old, and I'm trying to like keep up, and this dude's like playing like Rain and Blood, and I'm like, oh my god, like
bless me.
Yeah, you know, it was crazy, and he never fell off time.
Yeah,
never fell off time, and his backing vocals were incredible. And I'm like, how does a person do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just and that was the first drummer I ever had. Wow. And then Seamus, I jammed with him. He was my bass player in Terminal Fix, who actually ended up being a bass player in Nerve Damage.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
When Jimmy left, Seamus knew when to play with the guitar, but then he was very much like you, to where it was him, and he'd be like, "All right, play me the drum part," and I'm just like.
He would lock in with Nate.
Totally, totally spoiled, because he would lock in.
Sure.
And there were songs that we wrote that he came in and learned the bass part, but I don't want to say rewrote it, but followed Nate, and I'm like, that song's completely different in a great way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I am not taking anything away from Jimmy. Jimmy is like one of my favorite human beings ever. Jimmy's awesome. Did you guys go? You guys went to school with Jimmy?
Yeah, I remember Jimmy. Yeah, absolutely.
He's younger than me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I call him Linkovich.
Oh yeah.
I'm like Jimmy Linkovich, you know. But his dad's a phenomenal. His dad's like a
great guitarist.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Like
I heard a bunch of stories about his dad growing up. Yeah.
He rips, dude. Like unbelievable. Jimmy, great bass player, awesome. And then I had in Terminal Fix I had Cue Ball, who was
Chris, right?
Yep, Chris. 66 Stitches. He was on Mancow, and he was great. Chris just had that growl that was just like, my intestines are rattling right now. Like, it was just such a mean.
I watched him leap off a stage and knock somebody out one time at a show.
In Stitches or in Terminal
66
Fix?
Stitches, yeah.
That's totally Chris.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
We're getting off track here, but I think I was probably 16 or 17 at the time, the band I was playing in. We were opening for them at a place called the Rock Haven on Ridge Road in Gary or something like that, Griffith Gary area. It's not there anymore. And during the middle of one of their songs, somebody in the crowd said something to him, and he just leaped off the stage and right hook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, because I'm 16, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
A huge brawl broke out, but anyway, keep going.
He did that at McCool's.
Are you serious?
He did that at McCool's because we played. sound guy disappeared during our set, and it would just like literally just took
Fucking
off.
sound guys.
If there's one thing about sound guys, but it just took off from the set, and we were playing, and it was not great. Like the sound was off. Like sound guy's gone and just got wasted. This and that, so on and so forth. And I don't even remember who the sound guy was, and I was probably 18 or 19, so I'm like trying to remember this. He said something to the sound guy, and the sound guy said something along the lines, I'm going to paraphrase, of "you suck anyway," or something along those lines.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Big mistake, right?
Yeah.
Round one.
Yeah, fight. Probably not. And it was just, it ended up being like chaos. Like, out of nowhere, like it just erupted, and I remember, I just like, what is going on right now? And just like it. You ever have those situations where like almost like you black out, kind of, where it's like,
right,
what is going on? I got to get involved. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was, it was crazy, man. But the one fortunate thing I'll say that I was very, very fortunate. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Is I feel that when I first got into music, my first band I was in was Terminal Fix, and we hit a certain level of local success in Terminal Fix, but those guys were older than I was.
Yeah.
They were mid to late 30s when I was 18, 19.
Well, it wasn't just local, too, right? You guys...
Yeah, we played... So
You toured a little bit.
We did the New Jersey Metal Fest. We did numerous shows at Oasis 160. My bucket list item that I never accomplished, that I'm hoping one day to accomplish, is to play at the House of Blues. That's my favorite venue in the entire. It's my favorite
in
spot.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We got stories of House of Blues.
There you go. And I can't wait to hear them. But then we did. We were the finalist in L.A. for the Battle for Ozfest that was on MTV.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because when we got there was hundreds of bands. We made the decision because you could try out in New York or you can try out in California. We felt that we would have a better opportunity of getting noticed in California as opposed to New York, because New York had that very hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And we could have easily gotten lost in that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That hardcore metal scene.
Right.
So we went out to California, and so we're waiting in line. We're hanging out. I'm 19, maybe. I think I'm like 19. I don't even think I'm 20 yet. And we're out there. We're in line. Ozzy pulls up, and Cue Ball has a shirt that says, "I'm fat, fuck off." and dude, as soon as Ozzy gets on, he goes, "Oh, that's fucking amazing, man." You know,
do you really?
Oh, dude,
no
shit.
Get me that shirt.
He pointed out, dude. So Chris told me, like, if you I'm going to bring him on a podcast one of these days, probably the next one. I'd like to bring him on the next one. But he says that he went to a concert, an Ozzy concert, and they had a shirt that said, "I'm fat, fuck off."
No shit.
That was there. And he's like, "I swear they took that from me," or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Again, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's still funny. And so we had a chance to go in there, and the first thing they did was they took your CD, they would listen, and then Jack Osborne. Remember Jack, the son?
The son.
Right.
Yeah.
He listened to our song, and you could tell him going like that. And then we ended up making the finalist, and then they brought the finalists. So it kind of got narrowed down. You kind of almost had your people who made it past the first round, and then people who made it past the second round. So after that, it was like S&R Studios or S and something Studios.
Not SIR?
SIR Studios.
SIR.
Yeah, SIR Studios, yes, is where we performed in front of. So here's, everybody asks you, do you get nervous playing and stuff like that? I really don't. There's like a little bit of nervousness, but I love it. I like that nervousness.
Right.
Like for me, it's to me, playing in front of people, there's no better high.
Yeah.
Like it's
100%.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people can talk about drug usage. People can talk about, sexual relations, anything like that. It is a different high that is addicting, you know, and
you can't replicate it.
You cannot. And
the only thing that surpasses it is the day my daughter was born.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, bam, bam.
I bet. And that's what's amazing. And nobody, unless you're a musician, and it doesn't even come close, you know. Even when I do like the national anthems, it's fun, but it's not the same feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same feeling.
Right.
It's cool. I'm more nervous about doing that, but it's 90 seconds, tear down, like it's not an hour and 25 minute set, hour and a half set, whatever it may be. So anyway, we played at SIR, and we had a DJ at the time, Jacob, awesome dude. Wish I still talked to him. I haven't talked to him in years. And we had to go to Amoeba Music to find his album because we weren't allowed to take instruments with us. Oh. And so we had to go find his album. They had everything there to play. Found it, went in, we played. We actually played, I don't have the song. I wish I did, but it was called One. We played that song, and when I was warming up, not that there was much to warm up, it was like literally 3 chords the whole song. They were just put together good.
G, C, and D.
Yeah, I played on a legit, I want to say it was like a 68 custom.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow.
Legit. And on the back of the headstock, property of SIR Studios. Yeah. Like legit. And I'm like, oh my, like I am playing $100,000 guitar, you know, potentially, you know.
Who else hasn't played that guitar,
that's
right?
my point, is who else hasn't played?
Because SIR they're a known rental house. Yeah. So when a national act comes through and they don't bring, like if they do what's called a fly-in date, they don't bring any backline with them, any guitars, they rent from SIR.
They rent from SIR, yes, absolutely. That's crazy. And then not to mention how many people like recorded there as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like who knows who's played those guitars, you know? So we played it, and that was probably the most nervous I ever was because there was about maybe 80 people there, 70, 80 people. And again, years ago, so I'm guesstimating. Each one was somebody.
Oh, yeah.
The who's who.
Right, yeah.
Including the Osborne family.
Right.
And I'm like,
Don't fuck
screw
up.
this up. Don't screw it up,
Don't
dude.
fuck up.
Yep. So then we ended up doing that, and then they picked 2 people from. So then you would move on to the next level, and the 2 people they picked in the band was Cue Ball and then myself. Dude, they had a drug test. They interviewed us.
Really?
Oh yeah, everything. Like
they made sure you had cocaine in your system, right?
Yes, they're like, there's nothing in here. Take this, you know.
That just won't work. Sorry, guys.
And so they had us do all this stuff, and like we met with producers. They asked us questions. I mean, you name it, everything. Like, what's your goals? Are you afraid of death? Are you afraid? Like, just like I mean, picking. It's
like a psychological fucking.
Oh, totally.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when.
Just to see how you would do on tour?
Just to see how
Possibly?
you would. Are you going to fit the show?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that Battle for Ozfest, it was a reality show. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of followed everything. And so, yeah, and then that was it. Like, afterwards, they're like, all right, we're going to let all you guys know. We'll let the finalists know, and then whoever makes the show makes the show. And, yeah, we didn't make it. And, and I was like, oh, I was bummed out. But we did some, I mean, it was cool stuff. That was stuff that, and so my long-winded answer was, it's a double-edged sword. I did that when I was 19. Mm-hmm. And it was like, now it's like, dude, the only thing you have is you have to make it now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you've achieved, like that is pretty cool. A lot. You've done a lot that people haven't done in their entire life.
Right.
At 18, 19 years old. Now you have to make it. You have to do something. Mm-hmm. You've got to do something with this, you know. And we didn't, and we bummed out. And you know, long story short, being in a band is also like having multiple girlfriends because it is very much like managing multiple personalities, you know.
Oh, right. It is. Yeah.
And you know, I've told people that numerous times, that you've got personality conflicts, you know. Doesn't matter how well you guys get along, there's going to be disagreements.
Oh, absolutely.
And how you come across those disagreements, you know, sometimes that's a make or break, or this
That's
or
it.
that, or so on and so
Yep.
forth. And then, you know, sometimes you have others that like, hey, you know, this is the way it is, and it's crazy, you know. So
It's one of those, that you go along for the ride, and it's a great ride.
Yeah.
And sometimes, unfortunately, it just
Yeah.
it crashes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing.
yeah, well, you know what, the old good things, all good things come to an end, and this and that. Like,
Right.
I hate that saying because it is true, but I hate that saying because of the fact that, like, man, I look back at, like, even just us, like, you guys had so much potential. I firmly believe that, like, there was a few bands locally in Northwest Indiana that I really felt had the opportunity to make it, to really do something. And for one reason or another or something, it fell short.
Just wasn't
And
in the cards. I don't know.
that's the problem. And I feel like in a lot of those situations, it fell short, not because of the band's success, but I think it always fell short for the internal, irreconcilable differences.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the biggest part of it. But that is the biggest part of it because the beginning of the end was Jaime leaving. But I also feel like we were just like, not that I'm saying we would have blown up or anything, but I just felt like we were just like a smidge late on everything.
Yeah.
Like by the time Derek got in and we got solid, that music rock was on its way out, dying. Like the biggest songs I remember around that time were like about getting blowjobs and like what was that one song? Underneath the Sheets or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. So,
and it's and then Q101 we got played on local 101 when we finally got like a solid recording. And then
you guys also did the
Jamboree.
The Jamboree?
Q101 Jamboree,
he
yeah.
had already left though.
Yeah.
You weren't in the band?
No,
No, he played that gig. It was funny. He quit,
Yeah.
but then he still had to keep playing shows with us.
I just remember
You know?
going, Jaime, we did it. And he's like, no, I'm not in the band.
You thought you quit.
Yeah.
Why'd you leave?
So it was irreconcilable differences, like you said. When something isn't fun anymore,
Yeah.
then I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
No matter on the success. Because if I'm not happy and I don't, want to make anybody else around me unhappy. So if I wasn't unhappy or if I wasn't happy, I needed to change. So
Right.
Yeah.
at that point I was like,
And to be honest, I wasn't happy for a while. Like I tried to leave while we were recording the album. I tried to quit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And hey, not to sell anybody short, but dude, you had a set of pipes on you, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah.
Does.
Like, still does.
Yeah.
Yes, like not you have with a V.
Yeah.
A set of pipes on you.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm serious, dude. Singing is tough. I could never say never, right? But I always did like backing vocals, and I was totally okay with that. And I enjoyed doing that, but I knew my role. I knew my limitations. Like,
Same.
you know,
Same
yeah,
here. Yeah.
I knew my limitations. I was good at like the yelling, screaming, and like doing just backing vocals. But if you told me to sing like a main chorus, like a main line, I'd be like, I'm out. Can I turn my guitar up real quick?
When we were recording our full length, our one and only full album that we ever recorded at Groove Master Studios in Chicago,
Shout out.
with the late great Josh Shapiro.
Yes, rest in peace.
May rest in peace.
Yes.
Why don't we take a drink to that?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Here's to Josh.
Yeah, cheers.
Josh.
Cheers.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Josh.
You heard that clicking because we didn't click directly into a microphone. It was an echo.
Right. So, during that session, when vocals were being tracked, I went up there one day when J-Bone was tracking, and this was a multi-floor building. There were studios on each level, and he was laying down a vocal track, and an engineer from like 2 or 3 floors up.
No, it was directly upstairs, and it was Disturbed was tracking at that time.
Yeah, their engineer came downstairs and asked Josh, "Who are you recording?"
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And Josh told him it's a local band or nobody. He's like, "Dude, I can hear," which is it's the truth. He's like, "I can hear this singer is powerful as fuck. I can hear him all the way up in my studio."
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a soundproof studio.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, that was
I never knew that, man. That's cool.
Yeah, he did. You were that.
You didn't know about that?
fucking
No,
loud.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
That's fucking sweet.
How long did the album take?
Oh, jeez.
A
6
year-
months?
Well,
It was about 6 months.
we tracked.
Hey, that album was, first off, I actually got it pulled up here.
I think it was 6 months.
We tracked half of it. Like,
5 songs?
no, it was.
No, we did.
it was 10. Right?
Was it 10?
Wait, the full length? Or you're talking about what we did first?
Oh, well, how many we recorded?
Hey, FYI, I don't
know.
have the full length, by the way.
Oh, I'll send that to you.
I was talking
Please
about
send
the
that to
cut. No, we recorded a lot of songs.
Yeah, we did. I think we recorded 12 and 11 made it to the album. 10 or 11.
Yeah, there's one that
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
That should have.
Yeah.
But I want to say, like, we tracked at like half the album in 2009, and then the other half
Finished in 10.
was like the following
yeah,
year.
you're right.
It was
You're
that
right.
spread out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It had to be.
Really?
And it wasn't just because of us. And at the time, our producer was going through some stuff too.
Right.
So it was kind of, we had to break it up at that point.
So
Plus, recording an album in a professional studio, it turns out, is very expensive.
no, really? I honestly thought if you recorded at a Grammy Award-winning studio, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I
Right.
thought.
Johnny K.
Wait,
Owned by Johnny K, yeah.
With a Grammy Award-winning producer, Josh.
Right.
Yeah, with a Grammy
Josh,
Award.
yeah, he won so he engineered a lot of old school stuff, and one of the things he did was an R. Kelly album.
Right. Dare we go there?
No,
Yes.
well, no. All right. So anyway,
And
Disclaimer: we have no ties with R. Kelly whatsoever.
Yeah,
I
let's just
wanna
get
put
that out of the way right now.
the guy that mixed it was Grammy too.
yes, Tadpole.
Tadpole, yeah. He did
Yes.
He did.
the Three Doors Down's album, and
He worked with Disturbed on all their albums.
Johnny K. So my only experience with that studio, I believe, is the same one. Was Johnny K. did Drowning Pool's
Yes.
Step Up album.
Yep.
We went there to the studio. Oh, I got to tell a quick story. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
funny as hell.
Tell it.
So, Seamus lived in Texas. Gong, the singer of Drowning Pool, after the first guy passed. He was on the second album where If You Want to Step Up.
Oh,
Get
okay.
Knocked
Yeah.
Out. Him.
Yeah.
Him and Seamus were cool. They used to gig back in the day. I can't remember if Seamus said they was in a band together, but I knew they were in almost like this,
Yeah.
where, in the same music scene.
Right.
And he's like, hey, we're going to be in Chicago. Why don't you come on up and we'll hang out? So we're like, oh, hell yeah. So we go up there, and Gong comes down. And we pull up, and I remember we had 2 giant bottles of Jägermeister. You remember that?
Oh.
I know, it makes my stomach like just turn now. And so we get out of the car. Here comes Gong, rock star. Like, dude has the flat hair, like just rock star. Everything, dude. Tattoos, like jacked, all the stuff. Hey, what's up, guys? Dave, my drummer, who I just praised earlier, has the 2 bottles of Jaeger in his hand. Got all starstruck, started clicking them together like this, like that.
Oh, no.
One bottle drops everywhere. Doesn't even acknowledge it. Goes, hey, what's up, man? I'm Dave. Like this. And I'm just like, and he's like, dude, alcohol abuse already? He's
Yeah.
like, I just met you. Dude, that's how the whole thing started. But it was cool because it was an awesome studio, but those guys took it seriously. So we hung out with Gong. And do you know who was a cool dude? Was CJ, the guitar player from Drowning Pool. And then we got a chance to see the Step Up video. And that Step Up video was filmed. The models in that video were adult performers.
Oh.
You know, and we got.
What do you mean, Eddie?
Yeah, exactly. they did shows on Broadway, and you know,
Okay,
There you go. So we ended up doing that, and they showed us the video back when MTV used to like shoot videos. Like this is what we have going so far. This is the video and everything. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. If you ever get a chance, watch a Step Up video. It's almost like a Scarface.
Are you in the video?
No, I wish I was. Okay. Yeah, but it was.
He's in the back.
Yeah,
He's on the other side of the camera,
Right?
Yeah, I'm the guy going take 2. You know, but it was so cool. But dude, CJ and I we were just talking guitars. He was a PRS guy, you know, so we're just BSing, yucking up, and that was talk about a fun time. And that was like one of my first experiences. Like, man, these guys they're just regular guys.
They're regular dudes, man.
They put their pants on the same way. They brush their teeth. They do the same things that we do day in and day out, except they get paid handsomely to play music, which is awesome.
Right.
You know, no different. Yeah, I met Tremonti today. I was telling you guys earlier, and just awesome. Like, just we BS'd, you know, and it wasn't like let me sign this and like get this guy out of the way.
Right.
Conversations of
He took the
substance.
time out, right?
Yes.
I mean, just to be a person.
Yep, conversations of substance. So that studio is an amazing. The fact that you guys recorded there, like
It was a privilege in itself.
Sunrise was recorded there, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna play Sunrise real quick, just because there's this sexy bass player that kind of starts off this riff. That
You ain't lying, brother.
There we go. So here's a little bit of Sunrise. This is from Beyond, circa 10.
10 is when.
I jumped the gun because I started listening to it earlier. So let's just go all the way back. I just want to sing it. This song still gives me a chubby. Just throwing it out there, that bridge has solo written all over it, but go ahead. So that's a jam. Even to this day, that's still a jam. Like, here we are 13 years later.
That
makes you dance.
That song, correct me if I'm wrong, J-Bone, was based off of some events you went through, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, spill the beans.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where it gets really good.
Yeah, so
Brought to you by our sponsors.
The law offices.
The law offices of Peter Francis Gracie. They just decided to get into the divorce sector.
Divorce attorneys.
Oh man, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I'm just saying that right now.
I'm not gonna get me in trouble. I'm
Hey,
not gonna name any names, but
FYI, though, hey, P. Fran, if you want to do sponsor the episode, you can more than just reach out.
Bam.
Ed at StojoZone.com.
Hey, I feel like he needs to upgrade from bankruptcy info tapes to maybe MP3s.
Get your bankruptcy info tapes now.
yeah, I was dating a girl at the time. Not good for each other. We were at a party, and I was fucking wasted, which I was a lot back then. Yeah, I was a lot back then.
So what had happened was,
Yeah, and I don't remember. She was like ignoring me and flirting with some other dude, and I fucking snapped, and they kicked me out because I was for some whatever reason I thought I was a good idea to live with her and her friend at this house, and they kicked me out because I started demolishing. I think she ran upstairs because I took a CD out. They were playing something, and I was like, I don't want to listen to this fucking shit. And I took the CD out, and I fucking chugged it like a Frisbee, and it hit somebody in the face.
It was Bruce Springsteen, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
I
knew it.
honestly think, if I remember right, I said, I want to fucking listen to Boys to Men.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you know he was drinking.
And,
That sounds about right.
she ran upstairs, and I followed her, and we had a fight, and I screamed. Or I was trying to leave the pack, and she slapped me in the face, and that's why I just destroyed their house. Anyway.
I was going to say, didn't you destroy furniture?
Yeah. Her dresser.
Yeah.
And this one dude knew karate, and he was too scared to fight me because I was freaking out.
Because you're a beast.
Fuck
But,
yeah. Hottie
yeah,
karate
they
over
kicked
there.
me out of
like,
the house,
fuck
and
that.
they let me drive home. And that's what that's about, because I was fucking shit-faced. And I was like, I'll let my hands go and see where the car goes, basically. So don't drink and drive it.
Well, yeah.
It was a dark time.
Moral of the story: don't drink and drive.
I will say this, man. And I've told Jeremy this in the past, is I'm big on singer-songwriters and the song and, you know, what the words, right? The story in the
Big
song.
time. Yep.
This motherfucker
Writes.
can write a fucking
100%.
song.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Can write a fucking song,
Appreciate
and
it.
it's like that emotion is in there, I mean, whether you like it or not. I mean, that's what's coming out. And I've told him in the past, I said, dude, that album that we made had some good fucking shit on it. It really did.
Yeah, for sure.
It really did. And I think you were right when you said it before. We were kind of late because the music industry, we all know the music. All of us here know the music industry is just the fucking worst fucking business to be in.
It's tough.
Right.
It's tough because you don't have the resources in many cases to record and put the stuff out there and to tour and this and that.
Right.
And what happens is if you are, let's say, quote, lucky to get signed by a label, what happens is they own everything with...
They own you.
They own your ass.
They own you.
Yep.
They own you with the price tag of go out and you're going to tour and you're going to record and you're going to sell all this stuff. And
You are their whore.
Yeah,
It's
for
the carrot in front of the horse.
Yeah.
Come and get it.
Yep.
Come and get it.
100%.
Yeah. What can you do for us? And you know, it's
And they expect a new album like
oh
every,
my God.
Immediately.
you know,
Yep.
right. And if you don't write shit that we like, we're dropping you.
Yeah. So here's the thing that I can say that you're starting to see it now. Dude, people can record some amazing stuff in their downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
In their basements,
You're right.
In
Yeah.
their home studios. Like, you know, the technology just in 15 years, you know, say from 2005 to, 2023, the year of MJ, Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and LeBron James, well, he can try. MJ's he's always
like
the GOAT.
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
Best all
So
time.
anytime I mention 23,
Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah, there you go. I have to mention the GOAT. So, but technology is so different now compared to what it was back then. I mean, think about it. Like I've talked with Q-Ball about this. Even like YouTube wasn't a thing when I got with them guys. You know, so
Yeah.
that was 2002, 3 is when I started like jamming with those guys, and it was. YouTube wasn't What was YouTube?
I mean, it was like
I think
kinda
YouTube was
new
born
when-
in 04.
It was
right.
like barely new when we started doing it.
Yeah. So like YouTube was like in 04. But I'll tell you this, and I mean, I tell people the way I see it, and the thing is, I will be 100% honest with you. That music, I still think, can correlate to today's music. I don't think that
his lyrics. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You listen to any song on that fucking album, and yeah, his lyrics correlate to anything that's happening right now in any relationship.
Yeah,
because he writes from the heart, and I mean, he's one of my favorite songwriters.
Oh,
I
for sure.
He really is.
And that's what was the hardest part with me, and Jaime knows because he's a singer-songwriter, you know. Like,
I was barely a songwriter.
but to lyrically, like, bare your soul, and then somebody be like, you need to rewrite that.
Oh,
It's like,
tough.
oh, that's how I fucking feel, though. Like,
Yeah.
that's just
Right.
like journalism. That's why I dropped out, because it's the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's my minor's in journalism.
Huh?
My minor's in journalism.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Like, in case you guys don't know, I like to talk.
He's not a talker.
No.
He's not a talker.
I'm very introverted. But you know, I enjoy the writing. I enjoy talking. I'm a very very extroverted person. I to this day I have a hard time writing a song lyrically. And you want to know what's a damn shame? And the guys might get pissed at me in Nerve Damage, Terminal Fix. Half the songs I have no idea what they were about.
Never
Nope.
paid attention to the lyrics.
I know the lyrics, but I'm just like, it kind of doesn't make sense, but okay. You know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know.
I 100% get what you're saying, and the bands I'd been in up until Beyond Words, I didn't know what the songs were about. I never really paid attention that much.
Yeah.
But I paid attention when I got in the band with these guys, and I remember messaging you one morning about a song that we had written, the ballad.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually paid attention to the lyrics one day,
Deep, man.
and I got emotional from it.
It's deep, dude.
And I texted him. I'm like, "Holy shit!" And I didn't realize what Jeremy had gone through before I joined the band. You know, with his mother passing and everything, and he kind of filled me in on what was going on.
That was before Derek then.
Yeah.
When I wrote it?
Yeah.
No. Well.
Well, what you went through was before Derek.
Yeah.
Derek came in after
Yeah.
all
Yes,
this.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Just like a year before, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so at that point, it was that song that made me pay attention to what he was singing about. So everything after that, I paid attention to the lyrics, and I unfortunately lost my mother a few years back.
Yep.
And there's a hopefully
It's all
I
good.
don't lose my
Let it
shit
out,
right
man.
now.
Let it out.
You're good.
There's a song called "Wake Up" that Beyond Words wrote, and that specific song hit me completely differently.
After.
Yeah.
Totally. You wrote some amazing stuff. And like, I always felt that I could sing along with it because I knew what it meant. And I'm not knocking any of my old bands. Like, dude, we wrote catchy, hooky stuff, you know. And there's some songs that I loved significantly more than others. But then there were some songs I'm just like, man, what did you guys think about when you guys composed that song? I'm like, I don't even know what the hell the song's about. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't mean that it didn't sound good. It doesn't
Right.
mean, there's as weird as it is, which brings me up to what we were talking about earlier, like the Joe Rogan podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They had Rick Rubin on there, and he couldn't. When System of a Down was recording, in Chop Suey they didn't have. I don't have
Bridge
a
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to do here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And go grab a book, read something off, and it was that Father, into your hands I commend my spirit.
Right.
Father, into your hands, why have you forsaken me? And what Rick Rubin said, he's like, that's like the pinnacle of that song.
Yeah.
It totally
It
is.
It absolutely is. And it was something that all these years later, he grabbed it from a bookshelf and just it was the first thing that they.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And whether you like the band System of a Down or hate them, Chop Suey is a song that has tested the sands of time or whatever. What do you call that?
Yeah.
Whatever the terminology is, stood the test of time.
Right.
Sands of Time. That's a good band.
Yeah.
Hi, we're Sands of Time.
No, isn't that General Hospital or something? Like through the
I don't know.
through the sands of time.
Right.
What was that soap opera? It's like
I don't know. But the way you said that made me think of Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that had an eargasm there.
Yeah. But that's what that's the thing that's always crazy. Is like, that's where I always struggled. I felt that for me as a musician, I was never the best guitar player in the room, nor did I ever want to be. Well, I wanted to be, but nor did I ever expect to be. Mm-hmm. And but I knew I could write a song. I can structure a song, bridge, chorus, verse, this and that, and play just enough where it's fun and it's a little technical,
sure.
But at the same point in time, still leave the singer enough room to do their thing.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
Yeah, I want to add to that, if you don't mind, real quick. When we were at Groove Master recording that album, I wanted to wring Josh's neck, our producer.
Josh? Oh, okay.
Our producer, yeah. I learned a lot, and I'll admit this now, but at the time, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Because that was my first experience recording in a professional studio with a professional producer that actually knew what they were talking about.
Yep.
And he'd have us, okay, this is the next song we're going to record. All right, guys, play it. And we would play it, and he would just
together. You guys would play live.
And we did give him some demos that we just recorded in my basement or something to give him an idea what we were going on, what we had planned. And to me, he's like, "You're doing way too much. You're not leaving any room for the vocal. Mm-hmm. You're doing way too much during the verse. What are you doing? You need to simplify things." And when somebody tells you that, you're like,
your ego's like, oh,
yeah, it brings you down to here,
So I grew up when I learned how to play. The reason I learned how to play was because of the Systems of a Down, the Korns, the nu metal era. I actually got more. I was more into that nu metal, Deftones, 90s stuff. And I would say even like Nirvana and stuff like that, because that's all easy stuff to play on guitar. Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's like, dude, you learn how to play that when you don't know how to play guitar, and you learn that song, dude. You were Eddie Van Halen. Do you know what I'm saying? You're the greatest.
You play that shit in high school, and it's like, oh my god, dude,
totally. When I walk these halls, you better roll the red carpet out.
Yeah, right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I can play Smells Like Teen Spirit. So, but that's kind of why I got into it. And when I started to learn how to play guitar, it was still a lot of the standards, Thunderstruck and Back in Black and all this other stuff, Enter Sandman, all that other stuff. So I try to learn stuff like that, but then
Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, Smoke on the Water. But then the one thing that's crazy is, even to this day, people are like, "Hey, can you play this song? Can you play that song?" And I was just like, "No, I can't." Mm-hmm. I was like, "Play guitar. Why don't you know those songs?" I always enjoyed writing songs. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? I know it sounds silly.
Yeah.
I know it sounds silly, and to some people they don't get it, but I would always prefer to write songs as opposed to learning covers. Now, I'll learn covers. They're fun to play, but I always enjoyed writing songs. But because of my nu metal being brought up that way, do you guys know the reason why I play PRS guitars?
No. Please tell us.
Wes Borland, Limp Bizkit.
Wes?
Really?
Really? Burn.
Yep. When I remember going and I seeing them, and guitar. I had a subscription to Guitar World magazine and everything, and I remember I don't know if you guys remember the ad, but it's Wes Borland. He's in a black robe, and his face is all painted white, and his hair is painted white, and it's kind of like
Where his eyes blacked out.
His eyes are blacked out.
Yep.
And he has a platinum silver PRS guitar, no flame top, no nothing. And I'm like, why does that guitar have birds on it? And I just kept, and I'm like, that is the coolest guitar I've ever seen in my entire life. I gotta have one. Like that was me at 16, 17 years old, you know?
Okay.
And I went to Broadway Music, which is by far my favorite. It is my favorite music shop to this day. It is my favorite music shop.
Shout out to Nelson Wynn.
There you go.
Former owner. Former owner of Broadway Music.
Yeah, goat. But I will say that, and I told Nelson this, dude. It was so funny. This was last year. We were there. We were talking, and there was a salesman that worked there who's a local musician.
Who was it?
I won't name drop.
Okay.
But I think you guys will know. And again, I'm going to paraphrase. I went in there with a guitar roll. I'm like, do you guys have this guitar? And I got something along the lines of, we don't carry that stuff. That guitar's a little out of your budget or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm paraphrasing. It was something along those
Okay.
Because now, I was also a teenager. Was he lying? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? So I want to preface that, you know?
Okay,
you were pissed because he was telling you the truth. Fuck you, dude. God damn it, he's right.
Yeah, I was pissed. I didn't know. Like, I was young. I was naive. I didn't know if that was a $100 guitar.
Sure.
But at that point in time, I didn't know $3,000 guitars existed.
What year was this?
This was probably 2001.
Okay, so this is you couldn't just go on your phone on the Googles, and look up, PRS.
No. Like it wasn't. Yeah, this was probably 2001.
You had to go home and look on your Hewlett Packard and go on to yahoo.com.
If our dial-up connection was
right.
If
Mom, get off the phone.
If your mom wasn't on the phone,
right?
If my
log
mom
on the AOL. Yeah,
yeah. If my mom wasn't on the phone, I could jump on there, and what I would do is I'd enter in my password, and then I'd go grab something to eat, something to drink, maybe take a shower, and by the time I come back, I should be halfway connected to the internet.
Yeah.
So
you've got mail.
Yeah, there you go. So I personally.
He's on step 3 of 4.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Do you remember how excited you got when your little guy was surrounded by the rest of the people? Yeah,
I'm in.
But so exactly that's actually a very valid point too, because it wasn't like you can just pull your phone out and find out how much it was.
Yeah.
I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a phone back then. So but yeah, that's a few $1,000 guitar, and I didn't know that. So so yeah, I mean. Like I said, it kind of pissed me off, but it was also in 2005 is when I bought my first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So it was
from where?
Guitar Center.
Okay.
Employee discount.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
Yes. The
Guitar God.
Yeah. So because I worked there for a few years. Dude, I'll be the first one to tell you this. So my favorite shops in Northwest Indiana was Dynamite was always I really like Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah. Cool dude.
Yeah, cool
Jerry
dude.
Clemens. Yep,
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yep, absolutely. Was always my favorite shop. I always went there, and Lynch was the only one who was allowed to touch my $100 guitars. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My $50 Squire, he was the only one that was allowed to touch it. So,
John is amazing.
Yep.
He does some good work.
Absolutely. So Dynamite was always my go-to thing, and then when Cool Cat Jerry, whenever he needed stuff resupplied, dude, he got it at cost. He would go to Chad when Chad worked there, and then when Chad left, Jerry would come to me. Anything he needed, he got it at cost.
Yeah,
whatever you need, dude, it's yours. And because I get it, dude. Supporting local business, what keeps the
mom and pop shops,
right?
For sure. And so what's crazy though is looking back at it, man, we got stuff cheaper than because Guitar Center's a conglomerate. You get that pack of strings 50 cents cheaper a piece. You know what I'm saying? Because you're ordering.
Right.
Hundreds of thousands of them.
Right. Which I think is actually the downfall of Guitar Center.
100%.
Because of the deep discounts that people were giving.
Yep, big time. They are, I think they're struggling big time right
They've
now.
been struggling
For a long
They were almost chapter 11 or 13 a couple years ago or something like that.
I haven't checked up on it, but they very well might be still in a bankruptcy. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: when we started there, that is the only job that I ever worked that I woke up, and it was like, what's the movie? It like Empire Records. Everybody was like, it was cool. Yeah. Everybody was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm making money doing what?
Yeah.
I get to fuck around and play guitars all day?
Right.
Very bad money.
Really?
It was awful.
Money nonetheless.
Yeah, it was very, very bad money.
Yeah.
It was money nonetheless, but it was very, very bad money.
Yeah.
But the thing is it was probably one of the coolest jobs I ever had, because that's how I got into Nerve Damage. That's where I met Jason. And it's so funny, you said when you first heard the music, Jason would, so I was there, I'm playing, Jason's like, that's a cool riff, play that. And so I played it again, and he comes and he plays over it. Jason, by far, while there were some issues, and I don't want to go into that,
Right.
Yeah.
that was my guitar soulmate. 100%, without I don't even have to think about it.
You guys were a good team. And I'll be honest, I wasn't into that music back then when Jason was in the band with you. And I knew of you guys. I heard you guys because around this area, you guys were huge.
Yeah, how could you not hear them?
You guys were
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Everyone knew.
Right.
And so, yeah, I will agree. I mean, even though I wasn't big into that style of music, you guys drew a crowd, and that's all that kind of mattered. It's like, they don't need me as a fan. They have their fans.
Yeah,
and that's respect.
Thank you, man.
That's respect.
Well, but the thing is like him and I, we would write, like, so he brought me out to his car and he was like, hey, listen to this. And he played me a demo. And I was just like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first I didn't really care for it, but I'm just like, it was, I was in, like, Terminal Fix was kind of done. I went to go jam with a couple buddies of mine, and briefly I played bass in a band called Badass
Red Jeans, yes.
Yes.
The Jeans.
Yeah, the Jeans, and it was awesome. Dude, I still think one of the coolest band names ever.
It is.
And so they got that name from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Carl or something like that. I was like, oh, some of these badass. And I never watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but it was like, Badass Red Jeans, like, done, cool, the barge, So I jammed with them. We played one show. The only show that I played with them was in Couts at a place called Cronies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And we played that show.
Did we ever play?
And that was enough for you?
No.
Well, I had
We played
fun.
it before you guys really
Okay.
I played that, and I mean, those dudes, like Fro was, that dude was one of the grooviest drummers I've ever jammed with. Hey, and he always had this southern twang. I was like, what up, big head? Let's get this thing going, bro. He just had
Okay,
dude,
Broomhauer.
dude, I loved it, dude. Like, dude, I kid you
Sticking a
not.
butt daggone.
He always had that southern twang, but he was from up here, and he was just Fro. Just had that. He had that to him, My buddy Mike was on guitar, and my buddy Justin was the singer. And we were awful. Yeah. But I had fun. This was the first time I was in a band with friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like in Terminal Fix, I was in a band with strangers who became friends. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Right.
And Nerve Damage, same thing. I was in a band with strangers and became friends with them. This was a first band. I mean, Fro was the only one I didn't know. And I know how you feel now with Derek, because when I played bass, Fro and I, even though I'm a very mediocre subpar bass players, you know what I'm saying? I connected with him, and we wrote some cool songs, And but he had that groove to him. And like I had like, then I would have that groove to me. And I'm just like, man, just me moving my shoulders makes this sound so much better, you know?
Oh yeah.
So, but then anyway, cronies. We go and play cronies. Do you guys remember the scene in Blues Brothers where they throw shit at
the chicken wire?
Yeah, the chicken
Oh
wire.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We played the first song, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. And we just had all these eyes, and I'm like, they're gonna start throwing shit. Like,
Oh no!
Sure, you know, dude. I think we had like an 8-song set, and we covered "Just Lie" by Snot. You know, and that was it. There was a dude who was friends of those guys that I really don't care for, who came up and sang a song. Who sang that "I Just Lie" song, and I'm just like, why does this dude have a microphone? Yeah. Like, you know, like why does it? Yeah. And then they were like, oh, you know, this is gonna start getting serious, and then I was with Nerve Damage, like, dude, you're gonna have to pick, and I'm like, Nerve Damage. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Done and done.
Like, I want to, you know, sorry guys, you know. And but again, a lot of that was I enjoyed writing music with those guys, and then the songs that we ended up writing and the songs that they had, and then I added my piece to it, and then my whole part of it. I'm not trying to say I'm like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but collectively I felt like that was the missing piece, you know, to make it what it was. So we ended up playing there, took a hiatus because some issues with a band member, and then we came back with another guitar player. This dude's name was James, and really good. Probably one of the best guitar players next to, you guys remember Ryan Johnson from Scintilla? Or no, is it Ryan? Yeah, Ryan. There was a band called Scintilla back in the day. He was a lefty. And then Marky, which was Jason's cousin.
Okay.
Jason from Nerve Damage. It was his cousin, killer guitar. Those three, I don't know how they were possibly that good. Like, they were just next level amazing guitar players, you know? So, I forgot where I was going with this. Where was I going with this?
Oh, we're telling stories, man.
Yeah, we are telling stories. Anyway, so I got on Nerve Damage, started writing music. James was fantastic. James was very robotic. You know, there was no same solo every time, which is for a consistency thing that's fantastic.
Sure.
Man, did he didn't fit he didn't fit us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was always us four and then him. Us four. He was the Jason Newsted of Nerve Damage.
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it just didn't fit. And then
Lars's fault.
Yeah. And then Jimmy quit, and loved Jimmy, and I was butthurt that Jimmy quit. Not for the fact that we couldn't find somebody to replace him musically. It was going to be hard to find somebody to replace him as a person. Because
Right. That
Jimmy
you're
was
gonna
awesome, dude. To this day, Jimmy is really the only one that I still talk to on a pretty consistent basis. I still talk to Dave consistently, but more so Jimmy. You know, and it's just like he'll just chime in and random text messages, this and that. And then so that's when Seamus came in, played some shows, this and that, and then we took a break, and then we got back together. Jimmy came back in the band, and I was complete. And it was awesome. But then we got Heath, which Heath was my number 2. Mm-hmm. So Jason was the number 1, but I really enjoyed sharing the stage and jamming with Heath. Heath was a fun dude.
He's a good dude.
I was wondering I was cutting out the damn microphones to the left. You know? Heath was a fun dude. He had some chops. He played with some feeling, and
he's got a certain energy about him.
Oh, he totally does.
Yeah,
he totally does.
Yeah.
And he again, I never had ego. So Heath had some good chops. I totally let him do a solo here, do a solo there, and like it was, you know, I'd jump in and I would do some kind of cool part, but like, go ahead, dude. I'll structure some stuff and you jump in. I was never an ego guy. And I liked his solos because they were very Godsmack-ish. You know, like
oh yeah,
like You know what I'm saying?
Right,
yeah,
right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying. Wah pedal, like more feeling instead of.
It wasn't really technical, but it was more feeling.
Yeah, it was totally very Godsmackish, you know, and it was awesome. And then there was that. I got into a band. We played one show with. I jammed with Jaime on drums. I ran into him at Best Buy.
What was that? Project Revolution.
That is the intro to the.
Oh,
Is it really? Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep. And so we were sitting there, and him and I got together, and then we were writing some stuff. And I thought initially when John wanted to jam, he's like, "Yeah, let's jam sometime." I'm like, awesome. John comes by, he's got these drums. I'm like, what?
Oh, you thought he was going to play guitar?
Oh, I was play guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so and John's a unique guitar player. Like, I feel like John was very. You hear John, you're like, oh, that's a John Yaney riff. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And let's establish what band is John known for originally.
Sick Frown,
Right?
And yeah, he was in Sick Frown. He was. What's the one he was in with Rick?
Rick.
I forgot the dude's last name. He was in Simple Something. He was in Lights Out Vegas.
Rick Martinez.
Okay,
Yeah,
Lights Out Vegas.
Who's in
I
Lights
remember
Out Vegas? I thought those were. We jammed with those guys. I liked having I didn't mind them.
And both of those bands got
They got big.
some attention.
Yeah, they
totally
definitely
did.
They definitely got Simple Something was pretty big late 90s or right? Late 90s, I would say.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
Because late 90s, maybe early 2000s because I think John's I don't know how old John is, maybe mid 40s, maybe late 40s, I don't know. I think those guys.
I'm not sure exactly.
You know, but they played some good songs and this and that. I really enjoyed Lights Out Vegas. I loved their cover of Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. I thought it was fantastic,
right.
You know. I liked everybody there. But we jammed and it was awesome. And then when him and I started playing, I brought in Seamus. I was like, hey dude, come and jam, you know. And then I called up Dave, and because Dave's probably the best vocalist I ever jammed with. You know, he's awesome. Like you hear a song, you're like, that's Dave.
He can mimic, right? I mean, like he can adjust his voice.
Dave could. So here's the crazy thing with Dave, and it always blew my mind when Dave screams. It's not much louder than this.
Right.
When he's screaming.
Right.
I'm like, how do you, what?
He knows the technique.
Yeah. When I'm screaming, I'm done screaming, and I'm like,
The whole diaphragm's coming out.
Yeah.
And
Voice is gone. Yeah.
My voice was cached, you know? And so we brought him in, and we wrote, man, we had a good 6-7 song set of pretty cool songs. And then we played at Sopranos, you know. Yeah, we had a show at Sopranos. We played one show. It went fantastic. And then we got our second show that we got was at the Forge in Joliet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Opening up for Puddle of Mud.
Did you work that there? Because you were running sound.
No. At that specific location, when I ran sound, it was still Mojo's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been Mojo's. So this was 13.
So it was still Mojo's
So it was
at that
Mojo's,
point.
yeah.
Okay. So
And Derek was actually working sound there for certain shows, right?
Yeah, but I know I didn't run sound for that show because I would have obviously remembered
Yeah.
if you were there.
well, I know you didn't run sound for that show. You know why?
Why?
That show never happened because. Do you guys remember vaguely when the lead singer of Puddle Mud had that breakdown?
Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. if
Wes
that was a
Scantlin,
show.
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was a few weeks before the show. So the show got canceled, and Sopranos was officially the first and only show of Project Revolution.
Okay.
That was it. I felt like that kind of took the wind out of our sails, and kind of like how you said earlier, when the fun comes out of it. I was a very busy individual. Okay, had a wife, had 2 children. I had a career. It wasn't just a job, you know. Right. This was my post Guitar Center career. There was a point in time where I worked in Illinois, hour 15, hour and a half away. I was out in Downers Grove, and I always made sure I was at practice. I never missed practice. If somebody needed a ride, I picked them up, and there would be times where I would leave Downers Grove, go to Maryville, pick up James, go to Hammond, right on Parrish.
Oh,
practice.
Okay. All right.
We'd always be one of the first ones there. Leave, take James back home in Maryville, and then go back to Hobart or Lake Station, and wake up in the morning and do it.
Those are
go back to work.
Long days.
Those are long days. Yeah, those are long days, and I would do it. And I mean, there was even a point in time where, and I did that with Heath when Heath didn't, you know, when Heath's car was out of commission, you know. So, but it's like that's what you do. Yeah, that's
right.
It's just
because
what you do.
You were having fun, right?
Yeah, I was having fun.
So fuck how long it took.
Yeah, I had a good time, and for me, I actually had this conversation with Denise. I've had this conversation with her almost on a monthly basis. I feel like I'm at a very good point in my life, and I have been for the past few years. I mean, work's stressful. That's fine. But what work isn't? I mean, rock stars that tour still have stress. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like you know, it's might be a fun job, but it's still a job. You know, the only thing I'm missing right now is gigging, like playing live.
Amen.
Yeah, that I'm, and the thing is I'm in a point in time. Here's the conundrum in life. When you're young, you have most of the time, you have awful equipment. You struggle to find the right people, and you have nowhere to play. When you're older, you have some badass equipment.
You can buy whatever the fuck you want, right?
You got some badass equipment. And you don't have you have a place to play, but trying to get everybody's time aligned up to play is the double-edged sword. The white elephant in the room where it's like you know, because don't get me wrong, I should play guitar 2 hours a day, hour a day. If I play guitar an hour a week, I'm lucky. And it's fun, but I know my chops have gotten less than what they were because of the fact that I can only play guitar by myself for so long before you can only run scales and do covers and do this so long before it's like, I need to jam with some people, you know?
Right.
So there's a point in time we jammed at my old Hobart house and we, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, you know what's so funny is the live video pops up every once in a while of My Own Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we did My Own Summer. I think we did Cumbersome.
Oh, Cumbersome. Yeah.
Yeah. 7 Mary 3.
Yeah.
And what was a couple others we did?
Oh, didn't we do Breakfast Club?
Breakfast
What was the
Club.
Breakfast Club one? That dun, dun.
Did we do that?
I thought we did. Dun, dun,
Is there a video of that?
Simple Minds?
I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe, you know what?
I can't remember.
I
man.
lied. I think we did that in Project Revolution.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I was drinking a lot at that time. I'm not gonna lie.
I wish I had that.
Suggest, let's watch Simple Minds.
Yeah, fuck it, man. 80s.
I wish I had that on
80s.
video because right when I said that, I literally had 3 pairs of eyeballs just looking at me like, "What kind of crack is Ed smoking?" You know. So,
But that kind of leads us into a project that you, me, and Derek also did for a little bit.
Yes.
Really quick thing, right?
and-
And it was totally opposite spectrum of everything we've just been talking about.
From what we do and what we love, right?
totally.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm going to do is this podcast will get released. What's today? Monday, or today's the 19th. So it'll get released on the 20th, on Monday the 20th. And I am
Today's a Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday. Yeah,
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll release it on President's Day. You know, President's Day sale, ladies and gentlemen. You know? Get your fireworks here. You know. But what I'll do is I'll end up finding some of our recordings from when we when we played with Eddy, Enigmatic,
Yep.
I'm gonna get some stuff with Beyond Words and Nerve Damage. And what I'll do is I'm gonna post the links in the description so people can take a look and check it out.
Some of the stuff that we did with Eddy is on YouTube.
On YouTube, at the
shrine.
The
At
shrine.
the shrine, but
Yeah.
the double door's not
Double
on there.
door was we fucking sounded great at the double door.
The double door.
man.
So
Yeah.
okay, so here's a funny thing. So I want to talk about when we did that because it was so out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like it was so out of the ordinary.
Right.
It was Jaime called us up and was like, hey, my buddy needs a guitar player, bass player, and a drummer because he's got some shows in Chicago and he wants to play with a live band and he's kind of does some hip hop. I'm like, okay. And I can't say that I'm a huge fan, I do like hip hop, but just in general, like usually that's when the guard comes up. I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to share the stage with my bros. Of course I'm going to do it. That was awesome, dude.
It was fun, man. It was a good time, man. And it got all of us out of our comfort zone.
Right.
Totally.
So it was the first time that, we were together as a band.
We
Right.
played at your place at your grandparents. Wasn't it your grandparents? Is that
Yeah,
where
it
we
was
rehearsed
like
at?
my
In the GI, yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the GI, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we. And then I think that's when I decided to take up violin too.
Yes, somewhere there was a clip of that. Somewhere there's a clip of that. Yeah, I remember when Jaime, initially reached out to me, hip hop artist, dude I know from college. Yeah. And he wants to hire, a band to play shows. And I was like, I'm not going to say no. Like, whatever you need, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it was, all right, let's do it. I'm
Yeah.
down. Let's make it happen.
And honestly, in preface, like when he came to me with that idea, and I'm like, shit, I haven't done. And this at that point, I quit Beyond Words, and I hadn't played maybe in 2 years.
When was this? Do you remember when this was? Was this
Was it
2012.
12? Right.
12? It was
Yep.
12.
Yeah. So I was out of the band. Oh, maybe about a year, and I was like, man, I fucking missed the stage.
Oh yeah.
And so he came to me. He's like, hey, man. He goes, are you doing anything right now? I was like, no. It's like, you think you can get a band together? I said, for your music? And he's like, yeah, man, I got double door booked. He goes, I don't want a fucking DJ, man. I want a fucking full band. And I'm like, I got you.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck
Right.
that. Fuck those backing tracks, man.
Right.
Fucking get a live band. Hip hop, rappers out there, live band all day. All day.
Yes.
And we know some people that are for hire.
So, yeah, it was just natural. I called Derek. I'm like, Derek, are you down? And it wasn't even fucking second. Yeah, I'm in. Cool. So I'm like, all right, I need a guitarist. Eddy. Eddy was my first go-to. And again, back in the day, so just by happenstance, my uncle
Yes.
married Eddy's cousin back in 2001. So that's kind of how me and Eddy knew each other for years and years and years. And we knew each other, playing music, and I knew he had bands and whatnot. So
I always tried to make advances to him, but then he married into the family, and so it became awkward.
yeah, right. So naturally, after we started playing shows together, Nerve Damage and Beyond Words, and all that got done, and I was like, Eddy's a metal guitarist, and this is hip hop rap. I'm like, oh, this is fucking gonna be awesome. So I called Eddy. Eddy, hey, there's this project, man. He's got fucking shows already booked in Chicago at the Double Door. This date, are you down? Eddy, again, not even a second. Dude, I'm fucking in. Like, yes, let's do this.
So what was cool though is we went the double. Okay, so we practiced this and that, and then we practiced a few times at my place when I lived out in Hobart.
Oh, we practiced a lot there.
Yeah, for sure. And
What
dude,
were we drinking? Was it Red
Fat
Dog?
Tire.
No, Fat Tire.
Fat
and
Tire, and
there's that 30 case that he would always bring.
Oh my god!
Oh, and it was a cheap beer, but it was good.
Oh my god! Yeah, from down the street.
Yes.
Like Bulldog or like or
Some shit like
I
that.
can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it was down the street. I'm like, guys, I just got this, and I drank it. And you're like, dude, this is good. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's $7 for 30 beers,
Right.
with tax. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Oh my god, I remember that. So, were you there when I was outside smoking a cigar, waiting for them to get there? And it was one of those acid cigars by Drew Estate. And the flavored one.
Okay.
And Jaime pulls up. He's like, "Oh my god, man!" He's like, "Man, that thing smells great."
And he inhaled.
Yeah, and he inhaled it.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
And he turned green. Dude, it was terrible. I'm like, no, don't inhale that.
I was like, I've inhaled cigars, man. I got this. No, you don't worry about that.
Give me that.
Yeah. We actually had to grab his lung and forcefully put it back in. Like, get in there, But yeah, we practiced at the house for a while, and then we did that double door show. And, dude, it was crazy.
Which was fucking off the hook.
It was
dude.
off the hook.
So fucking packed, bro.
It was asses and elbows. And the crazy thing was, I'll never forget the looks that we got, because that crowd was, it was predominantly African American. And you had Eddy, which is a very light-skinned Hispanic.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have Jaime, which I would say is a light-skinned Hispanic.
Yep.
You have a wannabe Mexican with the last name Stoyanovich. We call those the half-breeds, right? And then you've got a white Derek.
A tall,
Yeah.
geeky, skinny white dude on drums.
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Dude, and we go up there and we play, and all of a sudden I'm just looking at all these eyes just glancing at us. And so when I was talking about earlier how like we got nervous and stuff, or how I really didn't get like nervous or anything like that before shows, that was one of those ones where I'm just like, oh, we better nail this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we better nail this. And it was after the first song, and you saw those heads move, and you saw that crowd move. You're like, oh,
got him.
Got him. Got him. So, and it was awesome. Yeah. And it was like immediately, dude, we got cred for that, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, we got immediate street cred, man. Like, it was awesome. Like, everybody loved it. It was fantastic. And then we went and played at the Shrine, which I thought was the craziest setup in the world.
Dude, right?
Because the bar is in front of the stage, but if you think about it, it's genius because you're forced to order a drink and you're forced to
You're
stare.
looking up, yeah.
Think about it. Metro, the Riv, House of Blues, like you name it, you have to walk and you're facing either the side or the back. Yeah.
You're not facing the stage.
You're not facing the stage. Here you're facing the stage, so you're getting that entertainment.
That was a weird stage.
That was a good show.
So I'd be willing to Eddie Gomez, if you're listening.
I'm tagging him in this.
Yeah, tag that motherfucker.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
You know, we were supposed to, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because
for his Christmas party.
Party, and I said, hey, man.
What happened, Eddie?
I need information, man. Give me information, date, time. I said, we got to schedule all this, and I had to find like the old fucking samples that, from his album that I think I still have on my old MacBook.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking, we're down, but we just we're a little bit older and we got families, so we need some info.
Yeah.
Right. I need to be in bed by 9. But let's make this happen,
Will there be Metamucil there? Like, right. To make sure.
What's on the rider? Tums.
Exactly.
Yeah. Back in the day, the rock stars were like, I only want red M&Ms. We're like, we only want the cherry flavored Tums.
Chewables.
Yeah, chewables.
Right.
But it was one of those things. Like, I had a blast. I would totally do that again. But at the Shrine, it was awesome. Do you guys ever know that? Did you guys know that I got pissed off at that show? Yeah,
I remember why.
Why?
Well, we had to bring our equipment in, right?
Yep.
I love it.
I know exactly why. Yep.
So we were getting in contact with other bands, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? It's a small stage, so we're just gonna need, just put your stuff up there, and bands will share equipment." At that point, that's a red flag for me. I was like, because that wasn't specified before the show, right? I mean, and any musician's like, look, sometimes I don't have a problem if someone uses my shit.
Yeah.
But fucking let me know so that way I know what to bring and what not to bring.
Yes.
Am I going to bring the really good shit or am I going to bring the shit that'll just make it happen, right?
The gigging stuff.
The gigging
you know
stuff, right?
Like,
and the band that fucking went before us fucking plugged into your amp and fucked up all your
just
settings.
The settings. Oh, livid.
All your settings. We didn't know because we set up and then after that we went out. And I don't know if we got food or...
we grabbed dinner or something.
We got right? Yeah. And then we come back and it's like, you know, we get up on stage and Eddie's like, this motherfucker.
Oh, I was so pissed. Because at first, I wasn't happy that he had to plug into my stuff, but I get it. No problem. Just don't touch my stuff. Just
Right.
plug in. You're ready to go. Volume, cool. That's one access you have to. But then I went there and I'm like,
This motherfucker...
this dude touched everything.
Yeah.
Like... I feel like this amp was in a Guitar Center and some kid just went and started, tweaking on everything,
It was molested.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Like, what are you doing? So then we played the show, and man, did we kick ass. We had such a good time.
It was a good time.
Same thing. Like, the crowd and one of the best compliments I ever got, I think, for the three of us was the fact that Eddy was like, I'm pissed that I recorded this album and I didn't use you guys. Because he didn't know. He's like, I would have much rather had a live band record the album instead of all the samples and this and that and so on and so forth.
Right.
Do you guys know why else I got pissed that night?
No. Refresh my memory.
I had a 1998 GMC Jimmy. It wouldn't start.
Oh, that's right. It would. Yeah, that's right.
It wouldn't start. And so... I started it, but I had to give it gas.
I think I rode with you.
Did you? Okay.
During that show, yeah.
I had to give it gas. So the entire time it was like
I remember that, yeah.
So if I let off the gas, it would die out.
Yeah.
I had to 2-foot that thing the entire way.
I do remember.
home.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
I was livid. Like that was so that was a car that when I traded in, if they didn't give me anything, I would have been perfectly content setting it on fire. Like it was like one thing after another. Like, oh my goodness. It was always problems with that.
Right.
Didn't you have to go and get Derek for that Pierre show in Fort Wayne?
No. Pierre's?
Oh, his car ended up making it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The clapped out 95 Dodge Intrepid. Yes. I remember that show.
Opening for C there.
Yes.
At Pierre's?
Yeah.
At Pierre's
in Fort Wayne. Yes. We had a show.
Played at Pierre's?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Either in downstate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my broke ass car would overheat.
So it was one of those things where like I took off of work and I had a SUV. So I towed a trailer. So all our stuff was in there. And Derek was like, man, I can't fucking get off work, So it's like, after I get off work, I'll fucking book it to fucking, Fort Wayne, which is goddamn a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, whatever it ends up being.
Close to
Yeah.
3-hour drive.
Well, because you got the switch.
And the time zone.
switch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he ended up like giving us a call and was like, man, I'm fucking on the side of the road right now, like overheating. And we're like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like we're like going on stage in like an hour and a half, dude. Like
what I ended up having to do was I just had to watch my temperature gauge. And when it would start to go up like over half, I would have to pull over on the side of the road and like wait 20 minutes for my car to cool down. Then drive it again until it got hot, And if it would like overflow, then I'd have to stop at a gas station and get like a gallon of coolant and some water. And this is the procedures and the steps I had to follow to get all the way to Fort Wayne to play this show.
Now, was it like you just made it? Did I have to did we have to set your drums up? And did I fucking sound check with
I don't think so. I thought I had them with me, but I don't remember exactly, but I remember being in we had a group text going on, and I was updating you on my location, and it was I get in touch, I'm how long, how much longer, how far away are you, I remember pulling in the venue and they like rush out.
Man.
Rush out the back door. I'm like pulling up. And
Yeah, you made it to sound check.
Okay.
yeah,
so
they're like
what it was.
ripping my drums out of the car and it's like, hurry up. We need to hurry up and get in here and get this done. And we made it. We made it on time.
Yeah,
but,
we made it on time. But
Yeah.
man, that was fucking nerve. And Dan was fucking shitting his.
Yeah, he's like, rent a car, do whatever you have to do. And I'm like, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying, man.
He's so fucking pissed. And I'm like,
I was
dude.
like, two of the three.
Yeah, it's something you can't. You can't.
Two
Yeah,
out of the
man.
three of us were level-headed.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek pulls up and they're like, from Hammond, Indiana, beyond words. Yeah.
No,
Dude.
we were from Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
But that damn car, I tell you what, man. The expression, I'm going to drive this car till the wheels fall off. I damn near did that with that thing.
Legit.
Because that thing had a, if you were careful, that left wheel would get into a high-speed wobble. And the whole goddamn car would shake, dude. When you're coming to a stop, like you would be going up and down and shit. I don't know if like it had a busted ball joint or what the hell was going on, but that thing got scary toward the end.
Oh, I bet. So, I want to end with something with you guys. What's a funny thing that happened at a show, on the road, or something? Like just a funny or an event. And if you guys would like me to break the ice, I can always break the ice.
Let me think about that for a
Funny
minute.
thing?
I don't know if.
I mean, I know
Funny
I
or
know
just
the
an
beginning
event? How's this? Let
know
me
the
let me
end thing.
rephrase that. An unforgettable circumstance. How
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back thing. Harpo's.
Detroit.
Yes.
Oh,
We were, so when you start out, you got that, you're just like want to play, so that like that
you ain't getting paid nothing.
that old scam pay to play shit.
Yeah.
Right,
You gotta
right.
sell all these tickets. We thought we were past that, so we got this show at Harpo's, and it was at least presented to me as opening for Smile Empty Soul. So it was in Detroit, and we get there, and there's like fucking 30 bands, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
not exaggerating.
Right.
30 bands, two stages.
And we were on like
It wasn't even a side stage. It
No.
was a stage in the back of the venue.
yeah, it's like if I didn't know better, it was like we're playing in a bowling alley, like just
that
like
bad.
off the side. And we weren't even on the main stage, and it was just like that was it, because Q101, we had gone on local one. Jaime quit. We got on local 101. We won the Jamboree, which is another funny story because what was that, Cubby Bear North?
Right.
Yes.
And I went to Wrigleyville.
Yeah, he showed up to the wrong Cubby Bear.
And I'm like looking around. I like pulled up, and he's like, I'm the band. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, waiting. And I'm like, Jaime's like, yeah, I'm over here. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, where the fuck? I don't see you. And he's like,
He's
"Did you go the
Jeremy's
wrong one?"
group texting us. He's like, I'm here. I don't see you guys. And it's like,
How far
we've
are
already
they
ate dinner. We're sitting in a booth and we don't see your ass.
He's in Chicago. Cubby Bear North is what, Vernon Hills? Some shit like that?
yeah.
That was to play for Q101's Jamboree.
Yeah.
But anyway, Q101 went under like with no warning because we were getting played on local 101, and things were like slowly going up.
It was going up, man.
And then the rug just went whoop underneath us. But anyway, so then Harpo's happened, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
That's right. I forgot Q101 did go under. And when
With
did it
no
end up-
warning. It
Yeah.
was like a news radio FM station.
That's
2011.
Yeah, it became news rate. 2011 is when it came back? No. That's when it went under.
That's when it went under, yeah.
Because it came back realistically not that long ago, correct? Maybe within the past 5 to 7 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Q101. When they brought it back as alternative radio, it wasn't Q101 officially.
Yeah.
It didn't actually become Q101 officially until like a year ago.
yeah, because they were playing like pop shit, right?
Well,
Wasn't it?
it was along the same genre. It was, but it wasn't called Q101.
It wasn't Q101.
You know.
You know, I can't tell you the last time I listened to Q101. Like, in my car is Spotify
All right.
or like Apple Music. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. The
I pay for Sirius.
yeah, okay, there you go.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
But it's like I can't tell you the last time I listened. But do you want to know what was the GOAT of radio stations?
the Blaze.
94.7 The Zone.
Oh, the Zone was a good one too.
Yeah, but I like 94.7 The Zone because they would play slightly heavier, like just a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is cool. They had Local Zone, and my old band Terminal Fix. We played on that and a handful of times, and I was like, oh, that's cool, But we had a show at Oasis 160.
Ooh.
Dude, that was a spot. Dude.
Yeah.
I liked
back
Oasis.
in the day, yeah.
We opened up for Chimera, and I forgot the second band's name, but it was Chimera.
I thought it was Chamara.
And full blown Chaos, which was like I feel like an East Coast like heavy metal band or whatever. And then the very next day we had to play in I think that's when we had to play in St. Louis. And so we basically played, packed up, and left. So we ended up doing that. We get to St. Louis, and on the way going there, we stopped to get gas. I remember very clearly that I had Mountain Dew, which I don't know why I would ever do that to myself. I had S'mores candy bar, Hershey's S'mores, and
Nice.
I had beef jerky. And so ate that, blah, blah, blah. We get there, the hotel's there, and then for that morning, we stop and get Jack in the Box.
Oh.
And this was a show where we had to play, and if you won, you got like recording time and all this other stuff. And it was very unique because it was at a hotel, and like you would play in like some of the rooms, and like people would, like can just go, like it was
Like
weird.
a conference room.
It was crazy.
So this was the Pioneer off of Torrance Avenue, right?
Pioneer off of Torrance,
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
okay.
So we go, we have Jack in the Box, and I eat this place that if I was in charge of the FDA, it would be shut down. Okay,
Right.
So, I eat at this place because I remember Seamus was telling me it's magnificent, it's fantastic, it's awesome. I threw up 13 times that day. I had food poisoning, whatever, dude. It was coming out of both ends, like you wouldn't believe. We had to play, and they set everything up. Seamus is like, dude, can you play? I'm like, I'm going to play. He's like, we're going to set everything up. And it's not like it was that hard, dude. You just plugged into an RP250 and a crate amplifier. You know what I'm saying? That's playing on a
Top
budget.
of the line
Top
shit.
of the line.
Fuck yeah.
And that's when I had the tinniest guitar tone ever. And I played, I think we played like 8 or 9 songs. I let go of my guitar immediately after we were done, and I ran out, and I threw up, and I shit myself. And I just, it was awful. Like I was so sick. You know what's crazy is when it comes to family support, for being in the type of band that I was in, my family supported me like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
From my wife, dude, my kids came to a few shows.
Dude, your parents, man. Your mom was...
My mom, my dad, my grandparents, dude, they came. My grandparents came with my mom and my dad to see us play with MOD at the New Jersey Metal Festival.
Oh, no shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
My grandparents, my grandma and grandfather, they brought my sister, and they took care of me in St. Louis because they wanted to see us perform.
Nice.
And they took care of me, and my grandmother was like, I can't believe how sick you were. You remember when we took care of you? I'm like, oh yeah, like dude, the room was spinning, just everything.
Man.
That's the worst.
And the guys had I brought my camera at the end, the high 8 video tape cameras and stuff like that, and I got to find those videos, man. But they just had a blast.
Yeah.
And I was pissed. I'll never look at a jet. If and when I become president of the United States, the CEO of Jack in the Box, I'm taxing his
Indicted.
Federal charges, dude. Federal charges. But that was crazy, man. So not exactly a fun time, but a memorable time.
Oh yeah.
Because
how are you gonna forget that?
I played that, dude. It was 45 minute set, dude. I played it. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now. For being as sick as I was, I killed it, dude. Crushed it,
like
dude.
Jordan the Flu.
Yeah, that's Ed Stojancevic's version of the flu game.
That's
dude.
a flu game? Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
We won that too.
Nice.
Never used the recording, but hey, we won it.
That's funny.
Were you with us when we played the Whatever in Kankakee? Were you with us then?
The bikers?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
We played at this shithole called the Whatever in Kankakee, Illinois, and it was a biker bar.
Yeah.
So we were playing, and we were fucking shit-faced. And all of a sudden, like, the door opens, and this fucking motorcycle just rides right
In the bar?
In the bar, dude.
He
into
turns
the bar.
around, and all of a sudden he starts doing burnouts.
He's
while
doing-
we're playing, and Tony's playing the drums, and Tony's pissed, and he starts fucking smacking his snare drum like harder, and I'm like, they can't hear us. This guy just like, I don't know what songs we have. I'm like, where I lay, and it's like, ring, 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 ring.
Dude, that was fucking, that was cool as shit. At that point, we were just looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, fucking play louder.
Hey,
Fuck it.
but at the same point in time, we're like, play just loud enough that you don't piss him off.
Right,
Because
yeah.
chances are he's got a sawed-off shotgun in his,
Yeah.
So that's crazy, man.
No, going back, just really quick, going back to what you say about family. I remember the first time we played House of Blues. And so that was the first show that we opened for Seether and Red.
Yes.
And at the time, my mom went, my little sister, it was an all ages show.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so my little sisters went, and my grandpa even went.
Dude, all ages when we were all gigging, all ages shows were a big thing because I feel like they didn't happen that often.
They didn't.
Right? Yeah.
They didn't. So anytime there was an all ages show, it's like you're going to have a lot of people there. So it's like, whatever. If they enjoy the music, great.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point. But that show, I remember my grandpa went, and he understands English, and he understood English, but, he barely spoke English or whatever, just enough to get by. And I remember the next day talking to him, and I asking him in Spanish. I'm like, so how did you think of the show? He's like, oh, you guys did really good. And he was a musician forever.
Yeah.
He's like, so.
Is he the one that used to play when you were like 14?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So I was like, how did you like the show? He's like, oh, you guys, pretty good, But then in Spanish, he also told me, he's like, yeah, but your singer likes to cuss a lot.
Hey, and that's when he said, cabron.
That was like the biggest. I couldn't believe we got that show, and I was just pumped up. And I think every other word was the F word, probably.
Yeah, he was excited.
Yeah.
So when we played in Fort Wayne at Pierre's, with Seether, what was Dan's friend's name? He was a big Seether fan.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, big guy.
Ryan Kloss. Yeah. I remember at the end of the night when we were loading out our gear, either I'm too drunk to remember, I was too drunk to remember at the time, but I think this happened, where the guys from Seether walked out and Ryan was like, which one of you guys is Seether? You put me through college.
Yeah, he's like, you got me through college.
It was Sean Morgan.
Was it Sean? Okay.
And then Sean Morgan's like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to go sing karaoke if you guys want to go. Yeah, he told Sean Morgan he got him through college.
Which one of you guys is Seether? Seether, thank you.
And didn't you guys go? Did you guys go?
I didn't. Dan did.
Yeah, they ended up going to a fucking bar and going to like karaoke.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, in Fort Wayne.
With the guy from Seether.
Yeah.
We also played there we opened for Trapped, and that guy was a dick.
Yeah,
So nothing's
100% he
changed.
was, man.
Some fans won
a meet and greet.
Meet and greet.
Yep.
They could see the sound check, and that motherfucker didn't show up, the lead singer, till like the last song was almost over.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're not even playing anymore, are they?
Oh, I think they are.
Are they?
I think they are, right?
Let's just say things aren't going very well for them.
For sure. Well, I remember that they had Headstrong, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked that song for 42 seconds, and then I realized I did not like that band.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at all.
Oh, we have a story about Trapped.
Do we?
Remember when we went to see them at House of Blues?
No.
You guys paid.
How could you not remember that?
Wait, is that where I had to fucking like go get you guys like half across town?
This guy.
Oh, this fucking guy.
This guy.
Was that a trap show?
That was Trap?
Yeah, we went and saw.
No.
We didn't play that show. We went and saw Trapped at House of
Shinedown.
Blues.
Wasn't that
No, it was
Shinedown?
Trapped. It was 100% Trapped.
So
Did you
yeah,
get lost?
Lindsay, if you're listening, turn this off right now.
Long story short, he ended up going to Wrigleyville. All four of us had to work the next morning.
We got picked up
And
so I had
by
to
two chicks.
I had to follow a fucking train that dropped him off. Who knows fucking where?
at like 3 in the morning.
3 a.m, and I'm like, because this fucking guy
And we all had to be at work at 7
wants to
a.m.
go party and shit.
Yeah.
Dan and I were wandering, and Jaime. This was before a lot of technology, and yeah, I remember Jaime was pissed. He's like,
I just remember
get in this fucking truck right now.
Jaime on the phone on his BlackBerry calling J-Bone. I just remember like hearing on speakerphone, Jaime, where are you? And then it was silent on the other end. All of a sudden you hear J-Bone.
This motherfucker's laughing at me, dude. Like,
Dude.
I remember Dan got in the truck, and then I was like, I'm not going. And Jaime's like, well, I gotta fucking go. Bye. And then I took the train ride of shame.
the next morning.
Yeah, the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't go with him.
No, he
You took
stayed.
the South Shore back?
So he ended
Somehow
up
we
taking
got back. I don't know.
You ended up
Yeah,
taking the fucking
I
like
took the red line or something.
red line or blue line or whatever fucking line
to South Shore.
to the South Shore, and then he got
back to Hammond.
back to Hammond. Yeah.
And I took a cab to Derek's house.
Where your car was
Where I
parked.
parked, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So I remember this was probably about 2010. I had been laid off from work for a year, and I just got called back to work in June 2010. And we had 2 shows booked in Wisconsin. One was in Janesville.
Oh god.
Where was the other one?
Rockford.
Okay.
Rockford. I love Wisconsin, and Wisconsin loves their rock bands. Yeah. Oh, they love their rock bands.
So I had, like I said, been laid off of work for a year. I got called back to work when things started picking up again. And because of that, I couldn't miss any work
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. You know, it's like, we're bringing you back.
Oh, you're chopping block.
Yeah, you better make sure you're here.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't call off work. At the time, J-Bone, I think you were working at Best Buy, right?
Yeah, I went home with you in between shows.
Yeah.
Hey, I worked at Best Buy before.
So yeah, we had a show. What was the first show? Was it in Rockford?
No, first show was in Janesville.
That
So
was the bar where the guy twice we played there, and he was like, I don't know. Usually we're packed.
yeah, so we played. It was called the Back Bar or something like that in Janesville. So
The back door, no.
the what?
Wasn't it the back door?
No, the back door was a shithole in Griffith.
Oh,
Griffith.
You're right. Yeah.
So J-Bone and I worked our day jobs. I was working at the machine shop. J-Bone was working at Best Buy. We had to get off work and haul ass out to Janesville, Wisconsin to play this show at this bar that was like closing down the next day. There was nobody there.
They knew they were closing, man, but they were like still booking bands.
The sound guy was like, he's like, yeah, we don't even get paid to do this anymore. I just do it because I like doing it. There was nobody at this bar. So we sound check, and Jaime and I sit at the bar to grab a beer, and we're like, what do you have on draft? And they're like, oh, we got Miller Lite. And then we got this other beer, but it's more expensive. It's our craft beer. It's called Spotted Cow, and we're like, well, all right, how much is that? And they're like, it's $2.
Like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, it's, dollars for drafts, or it's a local, and, all right, well, it's going to be more expensive. How much? Like,
So $2 for these craft draft beers.
Yeah.
That's your most expensive. Okay,
I'll take 2.
you're right. So
dude, we were like, we'll take 5.
Yeah.
all 4 of us ended up getting
Shit-faced.
hammered. This is probably one of the most
Fuck that show.
drunk experiences on
this-
stage the 4 of us have ever had.
So this was pre-performance drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of those.
I just remember playing that show, and everything had reverb in my ears.
Can you turn down the reverb? And what you don't realize is the sound system was never on.
I don't know, dude.
That was one show, I think, Dan, I think, was out of tune on one guitar. He got the wrong guitar. We always played different tunings, so there was different guitars. So he picked up the wrong guitar, and we started playing and just look at each other and like, fuck it.
Yeah, so on top of this being one of the drunkest shows we've played, and I hate to admit this right now, because we're on a podcast that could be heard all over the world. J-Bone and I had to work the next morning. So we played this show, and we had to drive back home to Indiana.
From Wisconsin.
And I had to be at work at 7 a.m. I don't know what time you had to be at work.
Probably, around the same time.
Day shift. So we both had to go back to Indiana, work a day shift. Then he had to go back to my house as soon as we got off work, get back in the car, and drive up to Rockford and play another show. J-Bone and I were beat. We were done. We were exhausted.
Yeah.
But I couldn't miss work. He couldn't miss work because I think you had me working at Best Buy for very long at that point.
Were you guys? How old were you guys? Were you guys 20s or 30s?
Oh shit! No, I was.
It's like late. I was late 20s.
I was 20s.
Yeah, I was 29 or 30.
That's the only saving grace that you guys had.
Yeah, because I tell you right now, I don't even have to drink. And I wake up hungover.
Yeah, no shit.
Nowadays.
Isn't it weird?
In my 40s, yeah.
Oh man.
So we played this show in Rockford, and I'll never forget this. I don't think I've ever spoke about this until this day, but I remember we line checked. We're on stage, and I held up my beer and I yelled, "Put him up!" Not thinking about what I was saying, and everyone looked at me. Everyone looked at the stage like somebody just yelled, "Put him up!" Yeah, nobody put up their drinks. Like I was hoping they would, like for a cheers.
Instead, they all just were
all they heard was
terror.
some guy shouting in the bar, "Put him up!" It was super fucking awkward.
Oh man.
And that was the last show that Derek had a microphone in front of him.
Yeah, I didn't even have a microphone. I just shouted it. Yeah,
It's like I don't need a fucking microphone.
That's great. I rarely this is so weird. So like when I played. If I did drink before a show, I would never have more than 2 drinks.
It's to kill that nervousness.
Take the edge off.
with me.
Yeah.
I never had more than 2 drinks.
We did.
Yeah,
I did a lot.
There was a show though where it was a Halloween show at Sopranos where we all got the idea to dress up as this was a nerve damage to get dressed up as Blue Man Group. So
nice.
I remember that.
Okay. So we put these ski caps on, these like swimmer's caps on. Okay?
Right.
So we put them on and this and that and stretch it out. I got a big dome as it is, so I put it on. And then as soon as I get it on my head, I let go, it pulls my face back like this. So I look like I'm really surprised the entire time. So then we use like this blue face paint oil or whatever.
Right.
And so, man, all of my friends showed up, dude. Like, all of Denise's friends showed up. Like, my mom and dad were there. Like, dude, everybody. That place was packed, which is why we always demanded pay.
Right.
Sure.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You know?
Right.
And it was packed. My 2-drink minimum was out the window that night. And so I'm sitting there like, we're hanging out, we're drinking, we're having dude, I'm having a blast. It was such a fun time. We start playing the show, and the swimming cap gets really tight. And so I end up taking it off. Well, with a packed audience comes a very hot venue.
Okay.
I'm playing, and this blue oil is getting in the whites of my eyes as I'm playing. And I'm sitting there like this, and I'm like, I barely know where the fretboard's at anyway when I can look at it. Now I really don't know where it's at, you know? So that was an outrageous show. It was so much fun. But I was like, you talk about like next level, like, oh my goodness. But everybody had a blast. And we had a good time. I felt, well, you know, when you're drunk, you felt like you put on a good show anyway. You know what I'm saying? But it was unfreaking believable. But the fact of the matter is, playing when your face is melting, basically,
right?
You know?
You melted your own face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is the blue stuff was getting in your eyes and stuff like that, dude. I've got pictures of it, and I'll have to put online. We look miserable, like absolutely miserable. So, needless to say, if you ever want to go as Blue Man Group, it sounds like a great idea. But
don't do it.
We had terrible execution. Don't ever do it. I highly recommend against it. I will tell you guys this: this should not be the only time we do this. This
I agree.
type of thing
fun,
with the four of us. We should try to do at least one episode a month or every other month if time,
sure,
depending
whatever
on
time allows, right?
whatever time allows, because this was awesome, and I feel like we could. 2 hours and 20 minutes in, and I feel like we could talk for another 4 hours.
Is that how long it's been, really?
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stories.
Oh, there's tons of
lot of
stories.
stories.
And it was great hearing all of them here, you know. So with that said, I appreciate everybody who has listened. I appreciate everybody who subscribes to the podcast. You can find us at stojozone.com. You can find us on all your podcast platforms. And I will tag all of our music that we've had. And if you guys can do me a favor, send me any links that you guys know of.
Yeah. Right,
And
we will.
I'll put that out. This will get dropped tomorrow on February 20th. And it'll be good. This was a good little reminiscent.
Yes.
And we should jam soon.
We can do that.
I think we should make that happen soon. I'm down. We should make that happen soon.
I'll forward you my rider.
For sure. So with that said, hey, I am with Derek, Jaime, Jeremy, and this is Ed. Thank you for listening to episode 8 of the Stojo Zone, Beyond Damaged. We out.